Jesus Christ have a mental illness? Because he said he's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. To me, those are three different personalities. So, we're not so much different than he is. But what we got to do is quit putting others down and try to build them up.
So that is Herschel Walker, a Republican nominee for Senate in Georgia, who, according to the polls, is a very good chance of being the next senator. And there he is talking about his dissociative identity disorder, or DID, which he's previously talked about. In fact, he wrote about it in his 2008 memoir, Breaking Free. He says that he has 12 alternate personalities, or alters, including the warrior who plays football, the sentry who avoids emotional attachments, and the thrill seeker who plays Russian roulette with a loaded gun. And there he is responding to critiques of his mental capacity to be a senator. Now, I'm not sure that the allusion to Jesus makes a ton of sense. I'm an atheist, to be clear, but like my gut says that if I was a Christian, I wouldn't like that so much. Like a guy who, look, let's be clear, has been through the ringer of the NFL, has experienced some of the natural physical consequences of that many players have, that was covered up for far too long and isn't generally respected. Like culturally, we don't deal with these sorts of problems. We do need to have a conversation about this, but I don't know, like trying to explain away the fact that you like to play Russian roulette and you, as we're gonna get into, threaten other people with guns on a semi-regular basis as being like Jesus. I don't think that that's a great explanation. And to be clear, I alluded to the threatening. So let's get to that. 4 years after his diagnosis of DID, Walker's ex-wife, who now uses the name Grossman, sought a protective order against the prospective senator. In a 2008 interview with ABC News, she said that while she and Walker were married, he repeatedly held a gun to her head and threatened to blow her brains out. Walker has not denied the allegations, but has said he doesn't remember the instances, which I think is worse, not better. Like if you're doing stuff like this and then blacking out and having no idea that you did it, that is not reassuring to me, not when it's a private citizen, and certainly not when it's someone who might be like voting on like going to war and treaties and choosing Supreme Court nominees and things like that. But Aida, what do you think about this?
I have two things to say about this. First of all, Herschel Walker is a great example of how poor our education system is in this country, and the push against education and information under the guise that it is elitism. And that is been something that they've been running with for the last few years, trying to shame people for being intelligent or having information. You saw it through COVID. You see it constantly from the last administration. It's been happening a lot. Questioning the audacity of President Obama for being intelligent, people mocking him for it. All of a sudden, a black man became the president of the United States, and being smart became something that was, oh, now you think you're better than us. All of that is rooted in racism. But the other thing I want to say is, unfortunately for people like Herschel Walker, Silk and Diamond, whatever their names are, those people who are, I don't want to insult them because I don't get anything out of doing the things that they do. But those people who you can see have a deficiency in basic information and knowledge, probably didn't have the best education, are always being patted on the head by these racist, bigoted white people who love them because they are repeating the talking points that are oppressive to them themselves. Because the people who, like I said earlier, the people who are always pushing against education and calling out things about the intellectual elites, look at their resume and find out where they went to college and see how they have a degree of post-secondary education. But they want you to be ignorant because all they want you for is to step and fetch. And that is what's so sad about this. This man this is that grab them by the thing phenomenon that we are watching unfold before our very own eyes. They are going to enable this man to get into office because he is going to do the dirty work of keeping his own people down. And it is so insulting to see them celebrate him, knowing that he is an abuser. He has a mental illness. Can you? I mean, it's unbelievable how low the Republican Party has gone. Not that the Democratic Party is that much higher above them, but how low they've gone to just further their agenda, that they will compromise the integrity of Congress just for the sake of winning. That's how bad politicians are, and how sad the American people are, who are so busy struggling to stay afloat in this moment that they can't even further their education or get the information to know that this is bad for them. And that makes me so sad.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I mean, like, all of this, as you say, goes deeper than just one candidate in so many different ways. That said, there's also this candidate, and he can't be a senator. Like, that's crazy. We have to have. I'm not saying we have to have the expectations for leaders that I would have. That's never gonna happen. But we should have some expectation. Like, and again, this isn't about him having DID or whatever.
No.
This is about what he does and says. Like the stuff that we've already told you, or I'm gonna jump ahead of graphic 8. Walker said in the ABC interview that we alluded to that he has his alters under control. But 4 years later, in 2012, a Texas woman filed a police report accusing him of threatening to blow her head off and then kill himself if she broke up with him. Micah Dean said she was Walker's longtime girlfriend, according to the police report from January 2012, or 2012. No charges were filed against Walker, who has denied the claims. So that's good. He doesn't deny the other claims that he threatened to kill a woman that he was with a gun, but he denies these ones. Except that he also says that he frequently doesn't remember whether he threatened people with guns or not. So how exactly do you deny this? You apparently frequently threaten people with guns and have no idea that you did it, according to you. I don't believe that. I don't think that's true whatsoever. But that's the story you would have us believe. So it's hard for me to assume that you didn't threaten this person as well. And I gotta say, in 2022, our country has descended to depths it never should have. But I think there should be a limit on how many partners you've threatened to blow the head off of for you to still be able to become a senator. I don't know if it should be 1 or 2 or whatever, but we got to, as a society, set the line somewhere. And I feel like Herschel Walker has gone past it.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.